Hi there, it's Lesley Langdon with UnityTV, and today we are going to be making some gift boxes. Okay, use your pattern paper up, your cardstock, anything you have left in the house, and pull out your Unity stamps and make some cute Christmas boxes. So these are different widths, you can see, those can be changed. Front and back are the same, those are Spellbinder die templates. So yeah, stick with me and learn how to make these cute boxes. Alright, so let's start making the first box, and what I have here is a piece of My Mind's Eye paper, and I have a die template from Spellbinders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut two of these, one for either side of the gift bag. Okay, so you put it on your base plate, put the side that you want, put that down on the die template, then your cutting plate on top, and then you run it through. If you want, you can just roll it back once you know the cutting's been done, instead of rolling it all the way through. Okay. So we have our first cut, so you can go ahead and put that aside. Next, I'm going to do another cut. So I don't even have to trim the paper, I can just kind of put it through like this. You can feel the grand caliber just give a little bit when your cut is done, and then just roll back. Alright, so we've got our two pieces. You can move the grand caliber out of the way. Alright, so this will be the front and the back of your gift bag. So now we have to make the middle piece to put it all together. So you kind of have to do some measurements here. So get your ruler out. Maybe if you have a scrap of paper, write down how much you'll need. Okay, so measure your piece here from, where the curve comes in, because you don't want the paper in the middle showing. So it looks like I have here 4.5, but I'm going to make it 4 1/4. So that's how long at the bottom that you need. You need 4 1/4 in width, okay? And then you do the length. So same thing, you go to the shortest distance. Looks like we have 5.5, so I'm going to do 5 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to need two of these, 5 1/4, so then we have 10.5. And then 4.5 for the middle. So altogether, I need 15 inches to make the middle piece. Okay, so we need 15 inches in total with these two strips. So I know I need 5 1/4 on each side. So if you imagine here's 5 1/4, I'm going to have them overlapping a little bit. So I'm going to cut each maybe to 9 inches, and you'll see how that works. Okay, so now I have two 9-inch strips, okay? I'm going to go ahead and do some scoring here. Alright, so you need the score pal, or something similar. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and score it at, you got your measurements here, 5 1/4. So there's one side. And do the same for the other. Then you're going to want to go ahead and score your piece at 1/2 inch on either side. Depending on how wide you want your box, that'll be this piece in the middle. So if you want it to be 2 inches in the middle, then you're going to want to make a 3-inch cut. If you want it 3 inches in the middle, then you make it a 4-inch cut, and then you always score at 1/2 inch in from either side, okay? So you can go ahead and make those folds. Use your scoring tool. Okay, so go ahead and score the other one. Okay, and you can apply this technique to any die cut you have. It can turn into a box, okay? You just have to know really how to make this inside piece. Okay, and I'll do the same with the other. I'm going to cut out a triangle where the fold is. This fold will be at the bottom. This will just help it fold nicely, okay? So cut those triangles out. It doesn't have to be precise. Okay, but you just see how that folds now? A lot easier. There's going to be no friction there. Okay, so now you're ready to glue your inside pieces together. I've already put some adhesive here. And we know that the bottom, go back to your measurements, the bottom will be 4.5 inches. So butt it up against your score pal here. Oh, sorry, yeah, 4.5 inches. So make sure you line it up. Okay, so that looks to be 4.5. All right. Now we're ready to piece our box together. So what you can do, I want you to apply adhesive on all these strips here. I'm going to use my Blue Arts Glider Pro here. So I'm going to apply adhesive to these sides. This is a great way to use up all your pretty paper as well. You can use this for Christmas, but really any holiday, like birthdays. All right, so now is the important part. You really have to line up your box here. So line it up as close to that bottom point as possible and try and make sure it's straight. You got the adhesive on here already, so here we go. Okay, and try and line it up here. Okay, now you can go ahead and glue on the top. I'm going to line this up a little better there. Okay, now the top, I would say do the same thing. Start with the bottom here. Try and make sure it's all lined up. Kind of get over it like a bird's eye view. Okay, and then you can go in either with a ruler and just go push that adhesive down that's already on there and the bottom. Okay, so there you go. This is a quick gift bag and you've made it in a matter of minutes. If you want to finish it off, just go ahead and punch some holes in the side here. Okay, try and make them even in the center. Take some ribbon, kind of measure it out, put it in there and tie a knot. Actually pull it in all the way just so you have more to work with. Okay, and you can pull it back out. Okay. Okay, so there's our gift bag and it's ready for our Unity stamps. Okay, next one I'm just going to show you a different kind. If you don't have grand die templates or grand calibers, I want to show you that you can make these cute little gift bags even with the smaller nestabilities. Okay, this one is called Labels 20 and I am going to use the biggest one here. And you'll notice it doesn't really have a flat edge, but that's okay. I'll show you how to get around that. Okay, so you take out your grand caliber again. You're going to roll it in and roll it out. Okay, so take out your cut and then make another. Okay. Okay, so you have a front and a back again. Now we want this to be able to stand up. So take your score pal and you're going to score it. Don't worry about the measurements here because you're going to be able to do this, but you want it flat somewhere. So you're going to score it and even line them up. Score it at the same part, okay? Okay, so this is how it's going to look. All right, so when it stands up, this will be the front and the back, okay? And then you have your sides in the middle. So we can use some decorative paper for the inside. Okay, this is from Best Creation Ink. It's a nice glitter paper that I'll use for the inside. I am going to make it 3 inches so that it's a bit bigger. All right, so measurement-wise, let's do our measurements, okay? So from the bottom that I've scored to the top, it looks like I'm going to need 4 1/4. So just cross out your other one. So 4 1/4. And the middle, I'm going to need it to be 2 inches. So I'll need 8 1/2 plus 2 for the middle. It's looking like 10 1/2 inches, and I want some. Okay, so that's great. That means I can use a whole piece of cardstock. I don't have to do that double work. So I'm going to go ahead and trim it now at 10 1/2. Okay, since it's 3 inches, I want it scored at 1/2 inch either side. Okay, and then I want it scored at 4 1/4. And then 2 over, so 4 1/4, 5 1/4, 6 1/4. It's right there. So there I have my size for the inside. Again, cut your corners out. Apply your glue. This adhesive is great because it's so sticky and you can position it exactly where you need it. Okay, so let's start with the one side. Okay, so this is nice and tiny. Let's start with the bottom. Line up the bottom right in the center. Okay, and then so this is going to be a tall and skinny box. Okay, perfect. So there's the inside of your box. Okay, now take this little red flap here. Also apply some glue because you just want to keep that on there. So there's what the bottom is going to start looking like. Okay, so get in there with your ruler. Stick that down. Stick it down at the bottom. Okay, so here is your red and green Christmas box, okay? Got that flap. Okay, there's what the bottom looks like. And with this one, I might use some of this twine here. So I've just made 2 different box styles using die templates from Spellbinders. Really, all you have to do is be good with your rulers and your measurements and make those folds, make the cuts, and you can turn your beautiful pattern paper and cardstock into your homemade boxes, okay? So next, which is, I think, the most important part, is dressing these up with some wonderful Unity stamps. We're going to be using Simple Stories, a simple Christmas stamps. And I'm going to start with this one first. So we're going to set that one aside. And I'm going to be using some white cardstock and Copic markers to really dress these stamps up. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is just take a piece of watercolor paper here. It's nice and smooth, so it will stamp nice. I'm going to be using Blazing Red Staz-on. Okay, so I'm going to stamp it on this paper. I'm using the Unity acrylic blocks that have these nice wooden handles. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and trim this. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can mat it. I'm going to mat this onto some deep red cardstock. Okay, this is how I mat. I usually just use my eyes and then I'll just go trim around it. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. Next, the only way I'm going to add color is by using my Copic markers. So I'm going to take that piece of watercolor paper that I was using before, and I'm going to stamp the calendar here that comes in the kit, A Simple Christmas. Next, I'm going to stamp the banner. Okay, so I'm using a Memories ink by Stuart Superior, and that's a good ink to use for coloring with my Copic markers. Okay, here I have a really big Copic marker. It's called a Copic Wide. I'm just going to color this whole thing in here. Okay, make it nice and saturated. Then I'm going to go around the sides with another Copic marker. This is YG25. Okay, and then one more time, I'm going to go over with my wide marker, and this will just make sure it all blends together. And I'm going to go ahead and trim it. Okay, so I wanted that nice and in the center. So what I'm going to do, I don't really have enough scrap, but I'm going to find a solution that works. All right, so I'm going to trim this again with the red cardstock. Alright, so I'm going to use some You Cut It foam. This is from Glue Arts to really pop up that piece in the middle, because you can make these nice in 3D because they're not going in the mail. Okay, Next thing I'm going to do is this banner. So I'm going to color it first. Probably use a really nice red. This is R59. I'm just going to color some of these pieces. Again, I'm not going to worry if I go outside of the lines because I'm going to cut these out anyway. So what other colors do I have in here? I have a nice light green, so maybe I'll try and do some green. Okay, and I need one more color. So there's a blue in there. I can probably try and find that blue. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and trim the banner. Okay, so I have my banner cut. I'm going to use these extreme adhesive squares. This is by Blue Arts. Okay, and then those ones can kind of be flyaway. Then I want to use this red twine. And I'm also going to use some of these extreme adhesive squares. And what I'm going to do is like roll them like a snake here. Okay. Just roll them. Oh, they're extremely sticky. Okay, so just make a line of these adhesive squares. So I've created a line of blue. I'm going to double up. I'm going to just twist this twine so that it's double. And then I'm going to press it down. Okay, just press it into that glue line that you've created. Okay, so there is our decorated Christmas box with our Unity stamps, a simple Christmas, and Spellbinders die templates, and Copic markers. The next box, let's just do a little bit of decorating, okay, because it's nice and small. So again, I'm going to use the December calendar stamp. Maybe I'll stamp it in green this time. This is peeled paint, distress ink. Okay, so go ahead and trim it. I'm going to try and cut outside the line so it gives me a little bit of a frame. We can just give ourselves a nice twine bow to stick on here. I just have this little black gem from Want to Scrap middle. Now you want to go ahead and circle December 25th. And just take a look if there's any other stamps that you might be able to use. Here's a number stamp. I'm going to try and use it in behind there. You can always see, if you see something you want to do after the fact, you can try and do that. So I'm going to use that peeled paint distress ink again. Okay, just stamp on a white piece of paper, that same paper we're using for the other stamp. Okay, I'm going to trim it with my trimmer because it's nice and straight lines. Okay, so let's see if I can just stick this underneath here. Let's get the number 25 in there. So I'm going to try and get it to the bottom. So I'm going to use my, okay, and then just give this a trim. And this will be a little trickier because you're on a curve here, but you can do it. And stick that piece back down. So you've just added another little, so we've added another little element to our bag. You know, I'm going to change this because I'm not sure I like how this looks. So that looks better already. I'm going to thread these through. So this can even hang on the Christmas tree. So there you go. There's another little box that you can create using the Unity stamps, A Simple Christmas, and your Spellbinders dies to make any shape of box that you like. Okay? And just make sure you use some good adhesive, a good scoring tool, and there you go. Alright, so there they are, our two final boxes. Hope that you'll give this a try. Use up that pattern paper that you have. Okay, thanks for watching.